All right, hey viewers, this is Tristan. I am here with the Lethal Nonsese Podcast. Here with my co-hosts are Lance and then Fumbles.
Hey there.
Hello.
Fumbles and Lance.
Yeah, the first podcast.
It's going down.
It's gonna be interesting with all the subjects and everything going around.
Yeah, I think so as well. But before we get to those, that's why we do a little bit of an introduction.
Well, not much to say. I mean, me and you have been really good friends, so you invited me on here, so I decided, screw it, I'll join.
And we all three been good friends. We hang out all the time. We like to talk about things, have discussions. It's
video games, movies, nerd stuff.
Yeah, just nerd stuff in general, which is what this whole podcast is going to really be about. Mostly
each other up all hours when we probably shouldn't.
You guys kept me up one night till like 3 a.m.
Yeah, dude, we always be doing that.
What's the first subject you want to talk about tonight?
All right, so first we got Cyberpunk 2077. Sounds like, CD Projekt Red has been pretty solid with everything they've been releasing.
I am just hoping the release date ends up being the actual release date.
Yeah, this stuff was supposed to come out like a day before my birthday, and whenever I found out it was getting delayed, I was like, you've got to be kidding. Like, I was super excited about that.
I was under the assumption that I didn't think that date was going to be met, and I was sadly right about it, only because the attitudes at CD Projekt Red, it just seemed like they were not sure themselves, and that's where it fell. That's why I wasn't surprised when it got delayed the first time.
Yeah, I wasn't like super informed at the time about that. I was just like, I just remember I was like, yo, that is so disappointing, because that's like one of the biggest games I was looking forward to this year.
It still is to me my most anticipated game of this year, even with the things that have come into light the last couple of weeks with the overworking and things. I'm still looking forward to it. It just proves that CD Projekt Red isn't perfect.
So does it make it even more disappointment though? Like they showed actually like gameplay of it and it's getting pushed back.
They've been every few weeks. Like, it seems like they've been uploading something or making a new ad, and it just makes me want to play the game even more.
Yeah, they're just teasing us. It feels like at this point,
just dangling the carrot on the stick and just slowly backing away more and more. Yet it feels like we will be finally getting the game actually on November 19th.
Yeah. It could also be a sales thing, just drum up interest for the game. Like, hey, we got this right here. We're still here. We're still making this. You should totally come get it.
Like I said, I wasn't so much into the game, but I did hear you think they did that also because think about it, it's more towards Christmas and the sales, like you said, the sales will go up more towards the holidays.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too because I've talked about that before. Yeah, but yeah, that would make sense too.
Sales.
Maybe, but I don't think sales were a big part of it because remember, this is the same company that, frequently gives out free stuff on their store and has had a success with, the Witcher series. A big success.
Maybe it's just coincidental.
I think it might just be, the fact that maybe they just wanted the best product they possibly could, so they kept adding more to it. I'm not sure. We'll know upon release what was true and what was, just them delaying it to maybe make a better product, or they just wanted more money. I don't know.
I think it's going to be a quality product. That's like the whole reason why I've been looking forward to it in the first place, and it's something I'm interested in. RPG that's also a shooter. That's like probably my number one favorite genre, and I haven't found like a lot of those that I really am into.
There's not too many to come by.
The only one that really is Fallout that I can think of, like off the top of my head.
There is
I love the Fallout series.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, which is a quality game, but as many of the people know, it's not exactly the most, I would say, open RPG. It's if you don't like vampires, you're gonna be early bored by it. But
And then there's Borderlands, but it's not like as I like customization. I'm picky.
That's a first-person shooter first and an RPG second.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I like the whole the role playing aspect. That's really what draws me to things. I like customizing my character.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I find fun in a video game.
Which in Cyberpunk looks like to be almost the forefront of the entire game. It's going to be built around your character and the way you play, which is something I'm excited for because The Witcher, as much as I love that game, it is you can play the game the way you want, but it's a very set in stone game. This seems almost like a model or like a Lego set. You can build it in the way you want.
Yeah, you can even play the game without killing somebody.
Without killing anyone, which is not going to be the route I'm going
Mass
first.
Effect, you have choices.
Well, in Witcher,
you have multiple choices.
Especially Witcher 3, there were a lot of choices that mattered, but there were also do you want to walk away from the guy after being told, that someone's nearby and take the gold, or do you just want to turn down the gold and walk away? Stuff like some of the choices that don't really make a big impact in the long run. But with Cyberpunk, it seems like a lot of the decisions are going to, be big impacts, or at least a noticeable impact.
Yeah, it's going to be more like you mold the story.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of customization, a not so PG-13 topic, but I love CD Projekt Red. They have it to where you can customize the size of your character's genitals.
I remember hearing about that, and I remember hearing some people being utterly.
Yeah.
Some people were completely, confused, and some people were a little mad at it. I take it as the fact that it's a series or it's a game that's going to be centered around basically these people are adding almost like they're manipulating their body, putting chips and things in their bodies, and almost modifications. There's going to be a sexual aspect about it. There's no getting around it.
But I don't know. I think people getting mad about that is a little ridiculous. I'm just just ignore it, man. Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. It's all done in good fun, and that's all CD Projekt Red, is about.
To me, it doesn't look like it's going to be the biggest of issues going forward with the game now. I just think it was maybe people trying to bring up a topic when the game first was announced. Because I remember that was mostly, being talked about when the first few announcements and some of the first gameplay, videos went up. And, after that, it seemed like it died down pretty quick.
I honestly didn't even hear really anything about it. I just remember reading it in an article and just kind of laughing, which I feel like a lot of people did, laughed and then just kept scrolling.
Yeah, that's exactly why I was like, oh, there's going to be nudity in a CD Projekt Red game. Who knew?
Yeah.
It's like the last 3 Witcher games didn't, clue you in. I think Witcher, or I think CD Projekt Red likes molding breasts.
Yeah, I don't blame them. But what's funnier too? So it's obviously not going to hurt CD Projekt Red in any way, shape, or form. They're like, yeah, we'll go with the Stadia too, a dying platform. Which I was like, huh?
It won't hurt them. Why not release on another platform? It's probably easy to do.
Yeah, it's just they're just well, might as well. Why not? They have nothing to lose in that case.
Yeah, I wonder, who knows? Because that game might be a little difficult to run with some PCs. It might get a few people to sign up for Stadia just to try out Cyberpunk.
That would be interesting if CD Projekt Red got sales up, for the Stadia just because of that. I'd be pretty impressed. That'd be actually pretty funny, I think.
Since the very first announcements of Cyberpunk, it's been a day one purchase for me for a long time, and I'm going to be buying it on PC. I know you're getting on the Xbox?
Yeah, Xbox. I'm hoping to have my PC built by then. I'm just a little console peasant.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, come on.
Despite what the internet thinks.
Yeah,
looking at you, internet. I'm looking right at you.
Nothing wrong with the consoles.
Yeah, it's simple. Just you plug it in and play. Well, I guess now you have to install stuff. That's a whole nother different topic, though.
Yeah, that's that's gonna be coming up later.
Yeah. We'll get into that later. But yeah, I feel like we covered pretty much like everything that really needs to be covered with Cyberpunk. So I say we segue into Halo.
Speaking of the consoles.
Yeah.
What about Halo? Like,
now,
going into
what
like
do
the
you
new
think,
Halo, or what they're doing with
new
MCC, or
finally,
I haven't heard anything on Halo 5 because I don't jump on it anymore. So I'm not sure if they're still. I'm sure they're updating that if they're updating MCC still. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they're making a lot of improvements to MCC though. But yeah, I mean, you guys never get on Halo 5, so that naturally, I'm like, well, I have no reason to be on it. So I don't know. I think they're actually doing pretty good with MCC. Just like adding minor customization elements and then adding the ODST weapons, which I really liked as well.
I was gonna say, like, especially since we waited like so long, like, because we grew up on this game, most of us, and like they came out with it on the new console on the Xbox when it was big, and they waited this long to finally start doing stuff with it. So.
Well, it's taken this long for the game to actually work properly.
I wouldn't say it's quite there yet, but I think they are getting there. Yeah, I think it feels like more like they're putting more effort into it now than they were for like the past however many years.
But it seems like they weren't putting any effort.
Yeah, for quite a few years, it felt like Master Chief Collection wasn't going anywhere.
It really did. It almost I was almost surprised, and they were just like, yeah, we'll come out with visor colors for Halo 3, and I'm like, dude, that's exactly what I wanted. It's like you guys just read my mind.
They came out with ODST playlist. Like, I didn't think that would ever happen. Like,
dude,
Halo.
that was like
that was the biggest surprise for me. I never thought they would come out with that.
Yeah, I never thought. I thought because of the reception of ODST when upon release over 10 years ago at this point, it being so lukewarm, I thought it was just forgotten completely.
Yeah, it was funny though because I was thinking, I was like, I'd like to actually see these weapons in multiplayer around 10 years ago whenever it was released, and then I never actually thought I'd be seeing that like today. It really surprised the heck out of me. Yeah, I'm like, wow, this is actually happening. This is pretty cool. Except they kind of modified the pistol a little bit because it doesn't shoot anywhere near as fast. But I think to make up for that, they actually made it do like more damage.
It does about as much, I think, as a BR, I believe.
The funny things, like the young ones who do play it, because a lot of them might play it now just because if they have Game Pass. Because like I doubt a lot of young people go out and actually buy the game. They probably have it on Game Pass. They're like, hey, it's free with Game Pass. To them it's free, and they're like, well, we'll play it now. Like they have no idea like what it's like to us. We're like, oh my gosh, it's been 10, 12 years, and to them it's today. Like they don't even know like
what we had to go through,
what we waited
to get
for.
To this point.
Like,
it's like they got it good.
It's the way it is with the way I have been very off and on with how 343 has handled Halo.
I've been mostly off.
I like what when I first heard, okay, they're putting Halo 1, 2, 3, and 4 into a package where it's all in one game on the Xbox One. I was like, okay, that sounds like a great idea. Then I heard they were remaking Halo 2 in the style that they did Halo 1 a bit, like the anniversary. I like that even more because I like Halo 2, and I just wish it would have been a much more stable game upon release. Didn't require a freaking I can't remember how big the day one patch was, but it was huge, and it just did not work well when it upon release. And it's honestly, there's a lot of people I've heard still having problems with it.
At that time, my friend brought his I didn't have an Xbox One. He brought his friend he brought his Xbox over, and it took I don't know how many hours to download it too, and then we still couldn't play it like when it was done. It was kind of sad. Kind of disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'd say that was like the first few years of Master Chief Collection was disappointing.
I play today like it's like Rockstar, but no one cares anymore. Like nobody. It's in the past, to almost everyone. But now, like it's an amazing game, but nobody even wants to pick it up and play it.
Except for the dedicated few who have, stuck with it for years.
But like now that it should have been like this. So like we were saying, should have been like that a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like one of the saddest parts to me because like it's probably my favorite like multiplayer and FPS series of all time. And to see it like lose relevance the way it has the past couple of years, I'm just like, especially whenever Call of Duty is still relevant.
Yeah.
Why is Call of Duty still relevant? They crap out a game every other year. I don't know. I don't keep up with Call of Duty that much. Like, I have no idea what they're doing, but they're still relevant. And I'm just like,
yeah,
wishing Halo was where it was at before.
I think we're on near the end of the life of the deathmatch kind of multiplayer games. I just think we're going to slowly move into these more battle royale centric games, and as we do that, we're just going to see less and less relevance from those games that still hold on to the deathmatch.
Since we're on the topic of Halos, discuss most of the Halos, I guess we can say, because we could go on, for hours about Halo.
Oh yeah.
So for the next Halo coming out, I think you mentioned before the podcast, like to me, we're having a conversation, all three of us. Would you be surprised just to get popularity if they don't have a Royale in Halo, the next Halo?
So the thing is,
like,
I just read
you all like drop shot into a world 100W and it's Halo but in Fortnite version.
Well, that's the thing too. So it would make sense for them to do Battle Royale, and that's what I thought they were doing. But according to this article, they're not. And I'm like,
as of now.
Yeah, I it's not like I want to see Battle Royale in Halo. It's more like I feel like they kind of need to make it relevant.
Yeah, but it would make sense.
I expect it in some ways because they're not, even though they own them now, they're not Bethesda. They're not going to turncoat, I don't think, as easily as they did, where they were like, oh, we don't follow trends, and like a year later they add Battle Royale to Fallout 76. I don't know. They might say, oh, we're not looking into Battle Royale at the moment. And then shortly after release, we're like, oh, we're going to add, a new mode. And guess what? It's Battle Royale. Who knows? With Halo Infinite, honestly, a lot of things are up in the air right now.
We're wondering if the game's even going to... They're talking... They said, we want this game to be, the Halo for the next 10 years. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Are you saying that you want this game to survive for 10 years, like
have
it's
a
Grand
shelf
Theft
life
Auto
of 10
Online?
years? That's a pretty hard sell.
Yeah, like the only games I can think of that have maintained that kind of relevance we were talking about earlier is Grand Theft Auto Online. What's the other one? Like Counter-Strike, Minecraft, definitely. I'm just like, you guys have been struggling to stay relevant the past couple of years. I don't know how you. Does that mean that you're not going to make any new games for 10 years? Like, what are you saying?
Or maybe they expect Halo Infinite to be the next. Maybe they expect the Halo Infinite might be the catalyst or like the structure of more games. I don't know. I don't think that it's gonna have as much staying power as it's like for 10 years. That's a pretty hard sell.
It's hard to judge it because we haven't seen it, or I haven't seen it yet. But I'd say, like, I still want to say I give it, like, at most for, like, the people who really love the game, love Halo. After 2 years, they're going to get bored of it unless they're playing with their friends. Like, I don't see it lasting more than 2 years.
I don't see it lasting.
The trailer
that might be
look
pushing
that
it. 2 years might even.
Especially
unless
considering
you're
how
playing with a group of friends.
Right, and then especially considering how, like, people have, like, such a very short attention span with games these days. Like, I'd say even, 3 to 9 months later, like, they're hopping on another game, and I'm just like, wasn't everybody just talking about Fortnite? Or, like,
yeah,
people don't stay dedicated to games these days very long. It's all, Call of Duty, next Call of Duty, Fortnite, PUBG.
Fall Guys, and now, now it's Among Us right now.
What the 2 years I said on Halo that I gave the new Halo, after that 2 years when it's starting to just die down, there's gonna be Destiny 3? Like,
Oh,
is Bungie gonna come out all of a sudden with Destiny 3 to like get their hype up? Like, or do you think they're done with Destiny 2?
I think they're done with Destiny 2,
I think they
honestly.
should be. I think they should be. But no, so the word on Bungie is that they're going to be coming out with this game called Matter in 2025, and it's going to be more of, I believe I read there was going to be more of like a comedic take as opposed to, just the typical serious sci-fi. I don't really know, what else they're planning to do with it. The latest and greatest news I've read on it, it was an article from September 30th, 2019, and they're partnering up with some Chinese company to do it. So I don't know how all that's gonna work out. I hope it's a good game because I'm not a big fan of Destiny, but
Yeah.
I guess we'll see for them.
That's gonna be one of those wait and see kind of games.
Yeah, because I don't know. I just really don't know. It's kind of like up in the air. It's kind of up in the air for everything.
Fan base, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's with this entire generation with Bungie has been a very strange time because they moved off the hype of Halo right into Destiny, and not only do they lose a lot of fans from Destiny, they lost a lot of notoriety too.
Do you ever think they're looking back a little bit? Because even if they're not all, someone's got to be looking back. Like, why didn't we stay with Halo? Like,
well, they were running out of ideas.
Like in a little bit of a way. Like,
they believed themselves with Halo Reach and everything. They believed, the series to be complete. Which I agree with them on that sentiment. Halo didn't need to go past, Reach at that point. We had, you finished the fight with Halo 3, you saw the beginning of the end of it with Reach, and it was pretty complete. And that's why, to me, Halo 4 was such a, step backwards. And then with Halo 5, it was a bit of a step in the right direction, but it still felt soulless and unneeded.
Yeah,
Yep.
I just found myself kind of, the first time I played through the campaign, I was like, oh, there's new stuff, and, finally get to see Master Chief again, and, we get to see Buck, too. I was like, yeah, this is pretty fun. Then going back through it a second time, I'm like, this is kind of boring. Like, especially
Didn't we play it together last time?
Yeah, we did. Especially with that level where you're on that planet, and you have to talk to, like, the AI governor.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I was just bored.
I have played through that campaign about 3-4 times now, and it reminds me of the lowest points of Halo 1, where it just felt dull, and it just drains the fun out of you as you go forward. I'm sure there's people who probably, really enjoy the campaign of Halo 5. And you know what? Good on them. I hope they enjoy it, but when people say, I remember reading an article, I think it was shortly after the release of it, saying it was they have found their favorite Halo so far. I could believe that more than I could believe with Halo 4, because that put me to sleep.
Right.
I think I've only heard one person say like good things about Halo 4. He's like, it explains why Master Chief is such a badass. I'm like, sorry, I just straight up couldn't get in Halo 4.
I think the opposite. Like in Halo 4 at the end, I was always thinking Master Chief is like, he's the chief to us. We've been playing as him since the first 1 till 3, and then you think he's so tough, and then you find out he's not really the toughest guy. But that's what I say. Like, he's not, you think the whole time he's the toughest guy, and not so much always when you think.
My biggest problem with Halo 4 is the fact that they tread around this whole, Cortana's in trouble. She's past her expiration date, and they're trying to get across to how dangerous she can be and how when she's going rampant and everything. But apparently Master Chief doesn't understand that.
Well, because even as tough as he is, he also has emotions.
Yeah.
And probably is going emotionally through.
But at the same
Because
time,
who's with him more than anyone? It's her. Or
and
AI.
he's constantly. I think I lost track. If you ever play Halo 4, don't play a drinking game. And if you did, if you took a shot every single time he reacts to her, her getting hurt or something, and just says Cortana, you will be dead within the first 4 hours. Because he's constantly asking, "What's wrong?"
I wouldn't tempt it.
Yeah, it just drives me insane how he doesn't. I assume he understands what's going on. This is also someone who hasn't played Halo 4 in a while because I didn't enjoy my first playthrough of it back when it first released. He just comes off as a bit of an idiot in that entire thing, and a bit of it with Halo 4 or Halo 5 because what is he doing in Halo 5? Trying to find Cortana.
Yes, like that ship should have sailed.
It's like, can we not just get Master Chief a new companion and just move on? I mean, he's got a new team. Have his companion be Linda Chief. They were destined for each other anyway.
At this point, you should already know. So, spoilers, aren't. Well,
yeah.
You could have Johnson, but.
Yeah, he had Johnson, and that's.
Oh man, feels. That hit me in the feels.
Well,
Halo 3 was just sad. It was just very sad, but it was great.
It goes back to what we were discussing too. Like he's always got the arbiter.
Arby and the Chief.
If you need someone to cuddle with, he's got the arbiter.
No,
actually, they'll show him his energy sword. Yeah.
And no, if they start cuddling, Master Chief's gonna be like, "What's that poking me?" And he's like, "Just relax. It's my energy sword."
Actually, no, that makes me wonder, like, what are they gonna do with Cortana? Because Cortana didn't really make an appearance in the trailer. It's like, is she gonna just randomly show up on this Halo ring, or is it?
I'm kind of hoping it has nothing to do with her.
I am too. I believe I read up that like they're gonna handle her story, like the remainder of her story, in the books that lead up to books that are coming out or have come out that are leading up to Halo Infinite. But it makes me still wonder, it's like, what is actually going to happen now? Because they seem like they were going somewhere with her in Halo 5. It's like, what is actually going to happen now?
And it hits you even harder, Tristan, in the heart, punch you. Remember, like, I don't know if you remember the cutscenes, like in Halo 3, like when he finds her on Cortana, she's like, remember, there's two of us in here now. It's like, he's got to save her no matter what.
Yeah.
He always has to save her.
Yeah, that was a recurring theme.
I just don't. At this point, I am so indifferent to the relationship between him and Cortana.
It's and a weird love story.
That one scene always hit me in the heart, though, when he found her and when he finally rescued her, and she's like, "Remember, there's two of us in here now." He's like, I just thought I'd try shooting my way out.
Yeah, I love that scene. And then the music on top of that, I'm just like, this is great.
But I do agree at the same time, like, she's past her date as an AI. And
I just think they need to like that.
She's going to do nothing but cause trouble, right?
All it's going to do is just... I remember when everyone was, pitching fit that they were trying to set her up as almost like an antagonist a bit.
I didn't like that. Because, like, what is she, like, some type of omniscient, like,
omniscient, like, being, I don't know. I didn't care. I stopped caring after Halo 4. I was like, okay, can we just, get back to more interesting storytelling, not the same repeated lines every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, what I really think they should do is hand off the series. People are gonna hate this idea, but I do think they should hand off the series to a whole nother protagonist and have like Master Chief as like in a mentor role, not as the protagonist. But you already know what the fanboys are gonna lose their minds if that ever happens. But it's like,
yeah, because they'll slam on their keyboards in chat rooms and on forums saying, "We want Master Chief back."
Yeah. They're gonna be like, this guy is whiny, and they're gonna have some kind of issue with him no matter what.
It'll be the exact same thing that when Kojima pulled the whole Raiden incident in MGS2, where and to this day there are people who say, "Oh, I I love MGS2, but I don't like Raiden. And I can understand that. He's not exactly as, I guess you could say, weathered as Snake is.
Yeah, and then I guess at this point, because of like the state of Halo, like play, keeping it with Master Chief is a safe way to play it, but at the same time, it's like there's no real details on. I mean, we know the Banisher coming back, but we don't really know any other, details other than what we saw in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh, dude, look at that. That brute was terrible.
Well, we now know the reason why, at least. At least, the whole they were not playing on Xbox, they were playing on a PC because they didn't have the access to an actual, console or build or whatever of the Xbox Series X. I understand why we got the trailer that we got. And I'm sure that it's going to be, a much higher quality game than that trailer, showed us.
I hope so, because I didn't like the blockiness of like the Phantom just looked completely different. I didn't like the design of the grunts. I mean, sure as shit did not like the design of that the brute. that was terrible. But if that is the case, then I hope those things get fixed,
ironed out before release.
Yeah, because I forgot when they delayed it, but I think you said they delayed it to what, like December or something for now?
I'm not exactly sure.
Actually, I can pull it up.
I just hope that once, we first got to get by, this what the next thing we're going to be talking about soon will be, because there's going to be a huge hurdle with the beginning of the console generation.
Actually, they're pushing it back okay, this is what I got. Sometime in 2021.
Okay, so anytime in 2021.
I think that's a better call after seeing that trailer. So I don't even fault them for that. But, my question is how the open world's going to be handled. Because, we only got because we got like a little taste of that in ODST, which I think they did that pretty well. But it makes me wonder, are they going to adapt Halo's gameplay to that kind of style? Like, are you going to have weapon attachments, and is it going to be a little bit more immersive than previous Halos, or is it just going to be like, typical
here's
two
an open
weapon
world, have at it kind of?
Yeah, because
I don't know. We will have to wait and see. I'm hoping they don't just give us an open world, say there's enemies in your way, have at it. I hope they give us something to do in that open world. Give us something that's fun and challenging, and just don't give us a Ubisoft open world where there's just you can go unlock towers and go unlock like drop points.
Yeah.
That will get boring very, very fast. You can't, especially with Halo being, this is our first open world big like Halo game like this. ODST was a very smaller scale open world. This is going to be a massive open world, which that worries me.
Because that's going to be like the focus of the game as opposed to, just a little taste of it.
Yeah, because remember, ODST was the open world, and then you went to it was almost like a hub that you would go to and you'd traverse to get to the levels or the missions themselves.
Yeah, I felt like ODST was just, I complained about it at the time, but looking back at it now, I'm like, they actually did some pretty creative and interesting things with ODST, like, and on top of that, it had a great soundtrack. As always, courtesy of Michael Salvatore and O'Donnell.
When they used to have the Game Awards, I don't know, do they still have the Game Awards? Anyway, they won like Music of the Year, I think, for the games.
Oh, really?
For the year they came out. Yeah, like the audio, the music, the performance of the music.
Oh, that makes me happy because I love those soundtracks. Those just, oh my god, dude! Like Halo 1 through 3, Reach is pretty good too. And then, just amazing soundtracks.
Yeah, I would agree with, especially with Halo 1, 3, and ODST.
Yeah, don't even get me
I know
started on the
the
soundtracks.
I know the weapons and stuff don't work out, and of course they're not on the same planet. But it would have almost really cool if they would have had like Spartans like on Rage that like helped ODSTs out on that
Uh,
Mombasa or
Actually, you remember they did that in one of the levels. They had the little cameo. It wasn't like, I mean, Buck never actually showed up, but you heard his voice. And you're helping him out, and that one
Yeah.
level on what was that
oh
level?
yeah.
New Alexandria. Yeah, it was New Alexandria.
Yeah, I think he appeared on normal heroic difficulty. One of those. It's been a while since I played OD or well, that mission in Reach. I mean.
And then they had the
Um,
music too, and I was like, yes,
yeah.
I love that. That was like my favorite song off the ODST soundtrack too. I think that's all I got as far as Halo's concerned.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah,
I
wait
think
and
we
see kind of
because
game.
because I mean like Halo you could go on for days. So.
Yeah, especially us three, we could talk about that forever. But speaking of Microsoft's mascot, let's go to Microsoft and actually the deal with these consoles. Lance, I think you said that they were having some problems there.
Well, PlayStation, honestly, at this point, to me, it's going to be very close this generation, I think, because Microsoft is, making some interesting plays with the whole, if you have Game Pass, you get all the launch titles and stuff, for free. All of them are going to be on Game Pass with, the launch of next generation consoles. That's a very smart move. That's a lot of incentive to buy the next generation of consoles. PlayStation, I don't like what they're doing with the next Spider-Man game with the whole you have to buy one item to get the chance to buy another item. That's
And
a
just
little
tits.
yeah, that's a little stupid. Because the way that it works is to get the remastered version of Spider-Man PS4, you have to buy Miles Morales. But if you don't care about Miles Morales, you just want the remaster, there's no other way of getting it as of this moment. Unless they've changed it. To my knowledge, they haven't. And that's not consumer friendly. That's kind of greedy.
Oh, that's very greedy.
I don't think that's going to be enough to sway people away. If they're diehard wanting to get a PlayStation, I don't think that's going to be enough to sway people away from it. Like what Xbox was doing with the release of the Xbox One, with the constant snowball of mistakes they were making.
Don Matrick didn't help one bit.
And they're just Sony seems to be making mistakes here and there. But it's nothing as bad as what Microsoft did. I think it's going to be quite close this coming generation. It's going to be heck of a lot closer than this generation was, because without a doubt, PlayStation 1, they dominated with not only their smart business decisions they've done with releasing games. Well, for the most part, their cross compatibility needs a lot of work.
$3.99.
But when it comes to with their exclusives and the fact that they didn't make near as many mistakes as Xbox did at the beginning, yeah, they came out pretty strong at the end of it. Microsoft, if they're there, they have still a booming community, but they had some, like I said, some rocky points. It's just going to be interesting this coming November, December, just to see what they're doing.
Yeah, and I can't say I'll be buying an Xbox right off the bat. Mainly just because
you probably won't be able to.
yeah, won't even be able to. But even then, I'm like, well, can't do it anyways. So I'm just like, because I'm gonna try to go get a gaming PC.
Well, you could. Not trying to. Oh, I'm not promoting anyone or nothing, but you could win one if you're lucky. Eat every day at McDonald's or Burger King. You could.
Or Taco Bell.
Or it's one of them. Or is it Taco Bell?
Taco Bell, I believe, is doing the as of the time of this.
One's like PS5 and one's Xbox, I think.
Damn,
I think Taco Bell's doing the Xbox one.
Oh damn! I was hoping it was gonna be McDonald's, because out here in Japan, everybody, I'm in Okinawa, Japan right now. McDonald's is amazing, 10 times better than it is in the States. So I could definitely do that. But if that's not the case, then, well, I don't have more of an excuse to eat at McDonald's now. Sad.
It's funny because, I'd love to win a console, but I don't really like Taco Bell all that much.
Yeah, Taco Bell's.
I'm not going to ruin my organs for the chance of winning a next generation console.
Yeah. So
It's like I finally got my console, but I'm on my deathbed. Guess I'll just give it. Oh, whoops.
But yeah, it's gonna be. I'm happy to see this generation end a bit, but I'm also, this generation was a learning experience for both companies. I'd say.
Yeah, but straight up, Microsoft shot themselves in the foot at the beginning of it. Like,
they look like they're coming back from their decisions that they're making because Game Pass is it's very important to them now.
You saw what they're doing mobile on your phone.
Yeah, the streaming.
And overseas, like I'm just saying too, like this is fact I've heard. Like overseas, like they love playing. Like I'm sure we like in North America, South America, they love doing it too. But like people love playing like mobily on your phone. And now they made it where you can play Xbox on your phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like a huge thing.
Almost like Stadia. And I think that's a smart move because some people just want to log in for like a daily bonus or something like that, and maybe they're at work. They could just sign in real quick, or if they have enough time, maybe they're out somewhere. Good enough internet connection, just stream the game, just get in a little bit of gaming time.
I was not aware of that.
I couldn't, but like, could you, Lance, think about like what, 6 or more years ago? Could you ever believe people were like playing on their phone, like whether it's PlayStation or Xbox? It's crazy.
Well, streaming, game streams still have a long ways to come if Stadia is anything to go
the fact
by.
that they're playing though, like
Xbox,
the fact that in their hands, right there, like mobily.
The fact that it works at all and is actually a not really a replacement but a viable way of playing a video game, that's amazing. That shows the true progress and accomplishment of not only the streaming service, but technology and just utilizing two mediums, using streaming and gaming into one. That shows growth there. And I want to see this. I want to see streaming services like I would, as much of a dumpster fire as Google Stadia is. It has ambition. It has if it could have done what it promised well, and didn't have so many drawbacks to the service and to their own, platform, and had, just that technology been there, just the advancements that we will see down the line there now, I believe it really would have took off and been a viable way, almost for some people, a viable way, almost like a PC replacement or a console replacement. But the technology's just not there yet.
Yeah, it's definitely got some work that needs doing.
And I just want to see it improve, because that is appealing, having all of your games available to you no matter where you're at. That's very attractive. That thought,
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, dude. I would definitely.
It's almost mind blowing.
Yeah. I mean, just 15 years ago, we'd be, we were all playing 20 years ago, the PS2 just came out.
And now we have the Switch.
We're all playing on the same TV on one console with 4 controllers, and our TV was a box.
TV weighed like 100 pounds.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
Sometimes we'd have to move that too.
Mm-hmm.
From room to room.
But enough about things I wake up in a cold sweat over.
Right.
What is your take? Jeff, what is your take of the next generation of consoles so far?
I mean, the very next one's coming out, like the Like we're
The
just
Series
discussing
X and the PlayStation 5, or the Series X and the PlayStation 5.
I don't know like a whole bunch about them, but like I saw some of the trailers from the Xbox games and they looked amazing. Even on my TV, they looked amazing. So I could just imagine on other people have better TVs than I have.
Mm-hmm.
And the PS5, I haven't seen too much on or heard about.
From
but
what
I will say, like the PS,
Go on.
like I can't go by so much the gameplay and stuff and what it can provide or what's inside of the consoles, but from visual, like the Xbox looks really good on TV, and the Xbox is a big cube. I'm not so sure about because one, I think you have to stand up directly, and the other I'm not so sure about. But the PlayStation is more like convenient. I feel like the PlayStation more convenient. Like you can lay it down easier.
Yeah,
it's more flat.
The PlayStation router and the Microsoft fridge, they're both very interesting designs.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
I mean, the console though, like what I saw, it looked like a box. And It looked like you could, like the one I have now is a box, but I can at least lay it flat.
Yeah, it looks like it's designed to sit upright.
That's what
I have no problem.
That's probably the way they just showed it. I don't know.
Yeah, I will have to wait and see. Because all the promotional material and like the previews all show it in that vertical.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll have to wait and see what it is.
Everything else goes, I'm not sure because I don't know what's really in the Xbox compared to the PS5. I would assume they're almost the same.
They seem to be really identical. I think I'm not sure exactly what. I think they're about going to be on par with each other. One might just have maybe better load times. One might have better access time to
little differences.
Yeah, here and there, just like the Xbox and the PlayStation have always had.
And it'll be hard to tell until like you can actually like in real life compare them.
Mm-hmm. And it's gonna be interesting because we are closer to more. Like we're very very close to it just being both of them just being flat out PCs just in boxes.
Yeah, might as well almost be computers. Yeah, PC.
And
might as well just be PC.
That's why I'm glad I do have a gaming PC now because I'm still gonna get the Xbox upon launch.
If you can.
Yeah, to be fair, if I can. If not, I will get one when they're actually available. When you can actually buy one and I have to, break into a store to get one. Or break into a Microsoft freaking office to get one.
That's still so funny though that they ran it.
I'm still at the end of the day though, like I'm like you, like I'm still kind of a sucker for like consoles. I know I understand PC's the greatest. It's always been the greatest. It always will be the greatest. But unless in the future they come up with some other crazy crap. But I mean, back in the I still have an N64. I'm sure you still have a PlayStation.
Sadly my PlayStation died.
Aw.
You did have one.
Slowly. My PlayStation 2 is slowly dying. It no longer reads blue discs.
Yeah. But I still have an N64. I don't play it, but
I can bring the PS2 back to life. I just got to take out the laser and put in a new laser assembly that you can get online easy, and it'll be as good as new, which is probably what I'll do because I have the original. I have one that was. I think I remember seeing a date. It was I think around a year after the console came out. So it's dang near 20 years old at this point. The fact that it's held on to life this long and is just now showing some really bad aging and just now losing functionality, that's a testament to, even though I know I'm the lucky one with it, because I know there are people who just a couple of years in to that generation of PS2 we're seeing problems with their laser and stuff. That's not what I'm talking. I'm just glad I was lucky enough. Yeah, I got extremely lucky, and now all I need is a. Yeah, what were you saying?
I thought you were going to say something before.
I don't know. It's kind of like crazy though how long the PlayStation like lasted in comparison to all, or PlayStation 2 lasted in comparison to all other consoles. Because like they made games for it for what, like 10 years or something?
No, the last PS2 game was I think FIFA 14.
When did the PS2 come out?
2000.
Wow.
Which, to be honest, after a certain point, all that was being made was sports games. And maybe like those shuffleware games on the sidelines that are made for like every console.
Yeah, so the sport games that are, the same thing every year.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me wonder when like the first Nintendo came out.
Like the first.
Like the very first.
I wonder what the last. I don't know when what the last NES game was.
Maybe it was 64. That's why they named the next one N64. Yeah, I'm sure that's not true.
But it's just, it was in 90. It was
96. I mean, we've come a long way.
Yeah, September 29th, 1996.
So first Nintendo.
Yeah, it is yours a launch year in 64, or did it come out after?
No, mine I bought mine used, so I'm not sure.
There should be a way of telling. You maybe have to look at the serial numbers and stuff, but
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna dig it out.
Well, I wouldn't either, because that thing might disintegrate in your hands depending on its age.
Right. The amount of dust that's in it.
Yeah, I really, really hope that I just really hope the next generation goes well for both console manufacturers, because I mean, we haven't talked about Nintendo, but Nintendo's really doing their own thing.
Nintendo's been dominating.
Yeah, they've been dominating their own the same way
lately on the Switch.
Which has been like that for, since I'd say the Wii, where they stopped competing in technology, like, comparative technology, and they've just been doing their own thing. With the Wii, it was motion controls and stuff.
I think the Switch actually outsold the Xbox One.
It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised.
They probably did at like a certain months or a certain type of year, or during holidays. It probably did, because I think the Xbox was out already before the Switch.
Yeah, it was. It was out for a couple of years.
Yeah.
The Xbox One, both the PS4 and the Xbox One came out in 2013.
Switch sold 45.92 million units, and the Xbox One sold 45.24 million units.
Oh, okay, so it's a lot closer than,
The Switch is almost like until like now. The Switch is also more like family friendly.
Yeah, it's also a portable HD console too.
Yeah.
Which that's crazy if you think about it too. Just like how far it's come.
It's like you could play Skyrim in a car.
Like who ever thought that we'd be doing that?
Right. Yeah. Or Mario. You could play Mario. Everyone loves
you could play
Mario.
Odyssey or explore a completely open world. Like you could play Breath of the Wild on a plane. Like on a plane ride.
Okay. That actually kind of goes back into what I was about to bring up. How I said, like, nothing, like I said in the future, maybe something will beat the PC. Do you ever think the way how crazy phones are getting, do you think mobile gaming will ever surpass?
I don't. I remember when
think about it, though, like, you'll
have more casuals.
Everyone uses their phone.
Yeah.
Like, if they use anything more than their computer, it's their phone.
But the thing is, with console or with phones, you don't have that I would say hardcore base. Yeah, you don't have no one's gonna be wanting to lug around a controller with. You
don't have a mouse and a key,
you don't have a mouse. You don't have a dedicated controller, and stuff like that. So, and no one wants to lug that crap around. That kind of loses the appeal of mobile gaming when you do that.
Yeah.
I think PC will always be a viable, the best way of experiencing games, except for with their exclusives.
Yeah.
Which that does bring us to another topic. Do you think that Sony is going to continue their trend of dominating with exclusives?
For the foreseeable future, yeah, I don't see nothing changing. Microsoft needs to start like actually making some exclusives and not just relying on, hey, here's some more Halo.
Here's some more Halo, Call of Duty, or Call of Duty, or not Call of Duty, Gears, and...
Gears lost relevancy, like, before the Xbox One came out.
Yeah, I know there are still a lot of people who play Gears 4 and 5, but they're not talked about as much as Gears 1, 2, and 3.
True. Yeah. It was really big on the 360.
Yeah. And even honestly, it kind of lost relevancy even on the 360 with Judgment.
Yeah,
I beat the campaign, which was, I would put it as decent. Like, not.
That's what I've heard across.
I got my money's worth, I guess. I got my money's worth, but it wasn't amazing. I wouldn't call it amazing. I think out of every Gears, even out of 4, it's my least favorite. Out of every Gears, Judgment's my least favorite. I played
4. I enjoyed it for the most part.
Yeah, Judgment's my least favorite. The first one's one of my favorites. Of course, I mean, classic. But not just because it's classic, but I don't know. It was really good. It was really good when it was just like when they came out with Halo almost. Like, it was really good.
It was nice to see a new franchise exclusive.
And it was one of the first games for the 360.
Yeah, and also have those graphics that just blew everyone away at the time.
Yeah, dude. At the time that when I was playing Gears of War on the 360, I think the first time I played was at E-Bash or whatever. I felt like a little kid again. I was like that, like Christmas. I was like, oh my god, that's so awesome. That's so fun. That's like I miss that feeling. Like,
yeah, it was always nice to see.
That's how I used to feel about like new Halos, but you lose that feeling as the games get,
blander.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say Halo 4 was bad. It was just a step down.
It's like the first time you play that, you start that series of a game or game of series, it's
when you can tell when I loved even going back to the remaster of Gears 1, because it just feels so. It may not feel as tight as the sequels, but I can still go back and enjoy that game. Even though I enjoyed Gears 4, I can tell there wasn't as much passion. It felt like it was continuing for the sake of continuing.
One thing I will say, like, start with Gears 1, whether it's the classic or remake, like, you wouldn't think it would have, like, a decent story or cutscenes, but it did. Like, it actually did. And you realize, like, those 4, like, it comes down to those 4, even though it's 2, like, mainly Dominic and Vargas, how they're almost like brothers. You know what I mean? Like, even though they're not. But, like, it comes down to, like, they're actually, like, a family going through all this shit. Like they're a family going through war. It's crazy. Well, that's what they call them, Gears. They stick together.
Yeah.
But, like, it's more than just going around shooting people. There's actually a story to it.
I am interested to find out where they're going to go next with, the ending of Gears 5. I don't want to really mention many spoilers in the.
No, I just beat that actually like 2.5 weeks ago.
Where they're going to go with it, I don't know. I don't even know if we're going to see one for a while.
There will be one though.
Yeah, there has
new console.
There's going to be another one with the next generation of consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft might as well, especially since they need something to compete with Sony as far as exclusives.
Because heck, Sony's already hitting it out despite me not liking how they're handling the remaster of Spider-Man. Miles Morales it looks like it's going to be another hit title. They've already announced the next God of War, and they've got they've announced, there's going to be another Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever. They have exclusives already planned out, and the only thing we know of is, there's going to be a Halo coming sometime.
Yeah. There's not even man.
Sony's already got the guns, or the bullets loaded in the barrel, and Microsoft, I don't even think has the gun yet.
Well, they do have something else going for them that we did mention earlier, and that's the Game Pass, at least.
Yeah, that's going to be their biggest saving grace going at the start of the console generation, is you're going to get a lot of parents who are like, okay, if I buy them this console, I don't have to buy them I just have to buy them a, Game Pass. I don't have to buy them a bunch of games with it. With PlayStation, if you want something to do when you get the console, you're going to have to spend out, you're going to have to also
$60, $60.
Or if $70, if, the rumors are true about them all going up in price over time. So,
or if you're buying it to take him.
Yeah. Microsoft has that edge at the beginning. They've got that little bit of an edge. Are they going to be able to hold it? I don't know.
That's the thing. I don't, unless they, like I said, like we just said, unless they finally decide to, start looking at the bigger picture and seeing that they need to get some exclusives, I don't know that they will hold that over them.
Maybe they have. Maybe they haven't really announced much, but, Microsoft's never the one to announce, other than, teasing us about, here's Halo Infinite. I think back in like 2013 or 2014. 2020 still hasn't come out yet. What's going on?
It's been in development since 2013?
I need to look up the first time, because I swear I thought it was announced, like, I know they were working on a Halo game for years. It's just, nothing's come of it. It's just been sitting in development hell for a while, it seems. Hopefully it'll break out of it. I mean, Cyberpunk looks like it was in development hell for a little while, but it looks like, it's closer to being released than freaking Halo Infinite is.
Yeah, I sure hope so.
I hope so.
They'll probably both be out before the holidays, so.
No, Halo
Infinite.
Halo Infinite looks like it's going to be for next year.
It's 2021.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think that might hurt them a little bit, is the fact that they really don't have any exclusives right out the gate of their console, unless they pull something out in the next couple of months.
I hope they do. Which that would be a Microsoft thing to do, I feel.
It's just they just pull us like, here's an exclusive. I mean, and I'm not talking about the smaller indie games that come out that are just going to be just for Xbox, or, might be coming out later on the PlayStation, or just, those have their own merit as well. But Xbox needs a killer app like Miles Morales or God of War. So, I know God of War is not going to be coming out launch. Neither is the next. But Microsoft or Sony has some, they have some things that are going to be coming out at launch.
I didn't know they're going to have another God of War.
Yeah, they announced.
I don't ever play the games, but I thought they were ending that series.
No,
they
switched mythologies.
Last one.
No, yeah. I assume there was going to be a few more.
Actually, I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah, just switching mythology, because he's killed all the Greek gods, so why not go to Norse mythology?
It's almost awesome. Like why they can't let that go. That game, everyone loves that game.
Yeah.
How can they let a game like that go?
I enjoyed the new God of War. I liked it. Was it as good as the original? I don't know. I think it's it's a really good game. But I'm just I want to see what they're gonna do with it before I judge further. So got anything to say about the rest of the the next part of the next console generation coming up? Continue our trend.
Not really quite sure.
I'm just curious to see what's going to happen.
I'm actually thinking I can say not going into big detail. I just think Switch is going to keep making big moves.
Yeah, Switch seems to have a lot going for it, really.
Yeah, Twitch.
Like,
what I want to see
I
is I
told
want
you
to
the
see
other day, like,
Twitch,
it should have apps on it and shit.
what I want to see is I want to
Have
see
apps.
more Twitch functionality with the Switch. Because with the Switch,
Yeah.
that seems like something, a lot of people, I know a lot of people, the Switch has been out for quite a while now. Twitch, with the Switch and, I don't see a lot of people streaming. Maybe I'm just not looking at the right place, but I'm not usually seeing a lot of people streaming like Nintendo games as much on the Switch.
No, you still can if you do it the right way, or if you have it set up the right way, you can. But yeah, not very. Like, the only thing I usually see is like Animal Crossing or Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, that's usually what I see as well. Maybe it could also be the fact that a lot of people on the Switch aren't really as competitive as other platforms.
Yeah. Well, you have to hook it up to, I think, like to your PC, and
Which I have
with
what the
unlike some consoles, like I can just click on my Twitch app, and even if I don't have a camera set up, I can still stream.
Mm-hmm.
Like for them, though, they have to go through a whole process. Like they got to hook it up to their PC, I think.
So, do you want to move on to our last topic if we have time?
I think that would be like a whole. I mean, we've already been going over an hour. So, I mean, what do y'all think?
I think we should probably call it here. I mean, we've got quite a.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what else we.
Well, the last one is
something,
a topic that we could probably spend an entire hour on.
Yeah. Well, me personally, I could spend hours on it.
Yeah, I think.
But
I think because all three of us, it's a topic that we all three of us have a lot of history with it. So.
Yeah. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today. Please tune back in next week, and we will have some more to discuss. This is Tristan out.
Thanks for having me, and see you next week.